The New York City subway. It's a world of its own, isn't it? It's noisy, crowded, a constant hum of hurried lives. We've all been there, moving like a sea of strangers. Eyes glued to our phones, minds lost somewhere between yesterday's regrets and tomorrow's worries. That was Ethan Miller's world. A 32-year-old office worker, just trying to survive the daily grind. Keep your head down, don't get involved. That was the unwritten rule. One morning, at the 86th Street station, the familiar symphony of screeching rails and muffled announcements played on. Ethan, lost in thoughts of deadlines, barely noticed the world around him. Not the kid selling candy, not the soulful tune from a saxophone, and definitely not the elderly man struggling with a heavy bag near the stairs. Then, a sudden crash shattered the morning's rhythm. The old man's grocery bag had burst. Oranges rolled everywhere. A glass jar of jam lay shattered on the floor. People stared, they stepped aside, they frowned. It was a perfect, almost cinematic freeze frame of urban indifference. Ethan's first instinct was the same: do nothing. It's not my problem. But then, something inside him broke. Maybe it was the exhaustion on the old man's face, or the profound silence that followed the sound of broken glass. Or maybe, just maybe, Ethan was tired of being a bystander in a world full of silent suffering. He put down his coffee, knelt, and started picking up the runaway oranges. The old man looked up, surprised. "Oh, son, you don't have to do that." "It's okay, sir," Ethan said softly. "Let me help." And that's when the magic happened. It was like a spell had been broken. A young woman knelt to help gather the fruit. A teenager ran to grab napkins to wipe up the spilled jam. In seconds, a group of strangers who had been invisible to each other just moments before were working together, cleaning up, sharing awkward smiles, connecting in a way that felt real. The old man's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," he whispered. "You people are angels." But Ethan didn't feel like an angel. He just felt human. As the train pulled in, the little group dispersed. The woman waved, the kid went back to his post, and Ethan helped the old man, whose name was Walter, onto the train. Walter, it turned out, had worked for the subway for 40 years. He shared stories of an older New York, a time when people talked to each other on trains, when kindness wasn't so rare. As his stop approached, Walter handed Ethan a small, folded piece of paper. "Take this," he said with a warm smile. A little reminder. Before Ethan could ask, Walter was gone, disappearing back into the city's flow. Ethan unfolded the paper. It was a handwritten note. "Thank you for reminding me that kindness still lives down here, Walter." And below it, a quote, "In helping others." We find ourselves, for the first time in weeks, a genuine smile spread across Ethan's face. That evening, heading home, Ethan saw a woman struggling with a stroller on the same stairs. This time, there was no hesitation. He walked right over. "Here, let me help you." The woman was shocked but grateful. As he carried the stroller up, he noticed people staring. But this time, someone else stepped forward to help. Then another. It was happening again. Small, quiet acts of kindness, spreading like sparks in the dark. Ethan realized something profound that day. Kindness is contagious, even underground. In the days that followed, Ethan started seeing the subway differently. He saw the musician who played for hours, the cleaner who greeted everyone with a tired smile, the candy seller trying to support his family. He started stopping. $1 here, a simple hello there. And the most beautiful thing happened. People started smiling back. The cold, anonymous subway began to feel warmer. The musician even started calling him Mr. Sunshine every morning. A few weeks later, flashing lights greeted Ethan at the station. Ambulance, police. A crowd had gathered. A teenage candy seller had slipped and nearly fallen onto the tracks. But a homeless man, who was always sitting nearby, had lunged and pulled him back just in time. Hero. The story exploded online. Homeless hero saves teen in subway. Donations poured in for the man Robert, a veteran who had fallen on hard times. Ethan visited him, bringing flowers. "You saved his life, Robert." Robert smiled weakly. "He's just a kid. Anyone would have done it." Ethan shook his head. "Not anyone, but you did." Robert looked down, his voice soft. "You know, seeing people care again, it makes me believe I can start over." Ethan's eyes softened. Maybe that's what kindness does, he said. It gives second chances. With the donations, Robert got a small apartment. Yes. And guess who showed up after reading the story in the paper? Walter, the old man from the subway. He found Ethan at the same station. Seems like you started something, son, Walter said with a knowing grin. Ethan laughed. Me? I just picked up some oranges. Walter nodded. That's how it starts. One small act underground, and suddenly it's everywhere. They sat on a bench, watching the city rush by. But now they saw it. A person holding a door. Someone giving directions. A man sharing his umbrella. Kindness had taken root. Right there, beneath the concrete and steel. Soon, a hashtag started trending. Hashtag Kindness Underground. Photos, videos, stories of everyday people helping each other in the New York subway. It went viral.
Ow.
News channels covered it, calling it a movement, a symbol of hope. Ethan never sought credit. He didn't need to. He just smiled every time he saw a small act of good, knowing how it all began. One evening, months later, a woman approached him on the platform. "Excuse me," she said. "You don't know me, but I saw you help that old man with the groceries months ago." That moment, it changed my life. She explained that seeing his simple act of kindness on a particularly bad day reminded her that good still exists in the world. She started volunteering, all because of what she saw. As her train arrived, she waved goodbye, leaving Ethan speechless. He reached into his wallet and pulled out Walter's old, worn note. He unfolded it and read the line again. In helping others, we find ourselves. And standing there, in the heart of the city that never sleeps, surrounded by the echoes of 1,000 strangers, Ethan finally understood. We find ourselves not in our ambition or our solitude, but in the connections we forge, in the hands we're willing to hold, and in the simple, powerful choice to just help. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please consider sharing it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that remind us of the good in the world. See you next time.